So today's lesson was all about distance, direction, and talking about our unit vocabulary. When we're talking about math and we're talking about distance and direction, we're talking about the numbers on our number line. Distance refers to how far something is from zero, or from the origin, or a starting point. Direction just tells us which way we're going. Are we going to the positive numbers? Or are we going to the negative numbers? Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we going left? Are we going right? So when we're talking in real life situations and we're talking about distance, we look for a set origin or a starting point. So normally your starting point would be your home, and you're looking at how far something is from home. So how far school, how far church, how far the grocery store, how far the beach, all those things, how far away things are from home. Your direction basically tells you which way you're going. So maybe everything is like school and the grocery store are both 5 miles away. School is 5 miles to the right, so plus 5 miles. The grocery store is 5 miles to the left, so negative 5 miles. So the direction just tells you which way you turn, which way you go. So those distinctions are important to remember. Your distance is always going to be a positive value. Doesn't tell you much in terms of where you're going. It just tells you how far away you are from the starting point. In math, your starting point is 0. Direction tells you which direction you're turning to go. So in math, our directions deal with positive numbers and negative numbers. Positive is to the right of 0, negative is to the left of 0. Today's examples, we're talking about speed and velocity. Speed correlates to the direction that correlates to the distance that you're going. Distance, positive value. Positive value is just how far you are from the starting point. Velocity is your distance, but with the direction included. So it tells you if you're going up, if you're going down, if you're going left or right. So if you're thinking about a car traveling down the New Jersey Turnpike, the speed limit for the turnpike is 65 miles per hour. That's your speed, how fast your car is going. So everyone is going 65 miles per hour in the same direction. Now you get somebody who gets on the turnpike but gets on in the wrong direction. He's still going 65 miles per hour, but he's going against the traffic. So while everybody else is going positive 65 because they're all going in the same direction, the guy who got on the turnpike in the wrong direction is going negative 65 miles per hour because he's driving the opposite way. He's going against the flow. He's going the opposite direction. So velocity deals with pluses and minuses, up and down, left and right, with the flow, against the flow. So we're looking at a parachute. This is our first example. In the table, you're looking at time period. Everything's in 1 second intervals. You're looking at how far you're getting or how close you're getting to the ground in feet. So we're starting at 0 seconds, you're 90 feet from the ground. 1 second goes by, you're 75 feet from the ground. 2 seconds go by, you're 60 feet from the ground. 3 seconds go by, you're 45 feet from the ground. So the number of feet is getting smaller and smaller. We're getting closer to the ground. The change is, 90 and 75, that difference is 15 feet. If you're looking at 75 and 60, again, 15 feet. So your change or your speed is 15 feet, and it's 15 feet per second. It's a fraction. Your feet, your distance over your time. And since we're talking about 1 second intervals or unit rate, our denominator is 1, and we can just not say the denominator. So 15 feet per second. That is our speed. We're traveling down to Earth, so our velocity is a negative number, negative 15 feet per second. Now we're looking at balloons that we let go and they fly up into the air. So flying up into the air is a positive direction. We're going up, so velocity is positive. So looking at the chart, we still have time at the top, feet on the bottom. We're looking at time in 1 second intervals, so unit rates. The distance or the change in feet from 0 seconds to 1 second is 4 feet. The change from 1 second to 2 seconds is again 4 feet. So our speed is 4 feet per second. Our velocity is a positive 4 feet per second. So if we're looking at our table and trying to figure out how many feet up in the air in 4 seconds, I'm going to add 4 to 20. So in 4 seconds, I'm 24 feet in the air. So I had people who were in class give an example of something that is traveling at negative 15 feet per minute. Negative 15 feet. The negative sign tells me it's velocity because it's giving a direction. So something that's traveling negative 15 feet per minute can be traveling down, could be going to the left, could be going against the grain or against the flow of traffic. The reason why we say left is negative and right is positive is because of our number line. The numbers to the right of 0 are positive. The numbers to the left of 0 are negative. So an example of something that is falling negative 15 feet per minute could be a snowflake, could be a paper airplane coming down. It could be a turtle swimming underwater to the ground to get some food. Those are all examples of something traveling negative 15 feet per minute. I asked everybody a question. You have 2 objects. One object has a velocity of, can I move this? Awesome. One object has a velocity of 4 feet per second. The other object has a velocity of 3 feet per second. And I want to know what object has the greater speed. Okay? Speed deals with absolute value. Which one is further from 0, further from our origin? Is negative 4 further from the origin, or is 3 further from the origin? So if you're looking at our 2 velocities, negative 4 is 4 steps away from 0, whereas 3 feet per second is only 3 feet or 3 steps from 0. So the object with the velocity of negative 4 feet per second, that object has our bigger speed or our faster speed because 4 or negative 4 is further away from 0 than 3. So when we're talking about velocity and speed, we're talking about distance from 0, how far away it is from 0, and which direction. So going on with our vocab words, there's different numbers or different types of numbers that we talk about in math class. We've got decimals, we've got fractions, we've got counting numbers. Counting numbers are things like 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got whole numbers, again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got integers. Integers are my whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, and then all the opposite numbers, so the negative versions of these whole numbers. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Your integers are always going to be your whole numbers. So when I talk about integers in class, I'm including 0, I'm including 1, negative 1,000,000, positive 500, but I'm not talking about fractions or decimals. So I asked everybody to give me an example of an integer, and everyone wrote down different whole numbers, positive and negative, and 0 on the board. So now we're looking at opposites. When I think about an opposite of a number, I think about a mirror or a reflection. So every whole number or every number on the positive side of the number line is reflected or has an opposite value on the negative side of the number line. So positive 5, negative 5, positive 20, negative 20, negative 5 million, positive 5 million, positive 1/2, negative 1/2. These are all opposites. Your opposite numbers are the same distance away from 0, so their absolute values are the same number, okay? When you take 2 opposites and add them together, it's called additive inverse. You're adding 2 opposites together and they're going to equal 0. 5 plus negative 5, they're both the same distance from 0. One's a positive number, one's a negative number. When you add them together, you get 0. Positive 1,000 plus negative 1,000, they're both the same distance from 0. You add them together, you get 0. So when you're adding 2 opposite numbers, you're going to end up with 0. Positive 1/2 plus negative 1/2 is also 0. So I asked everybody to write an equation showing the additive inverse, where you take a positive number and you add it to its opposite, and you're going to get 0. Absolute value was the last thing we talked about, the last vocab term we defined. An absolute value, again, is a distance. It's how far a number is from 0. Okay? So you can look at it with a number line, and you can count your hops, or you can look at it by taking 0 and subtracting that number from 0, or that number subtract from 0. Whatever number is greater, that's what you subtract first. So absolute value is the distance the number is from 0. It's always positive, just like speed is always positive because it represents a distance. And that's what we went over in class today. If you have any questions, please let me know. And good luck with the assignment.